And it's just the setting here is stunning in and of itself. And then the track itself, just an absolutely amazing piece of racing real estate here. Clearly well laid out. And the interesting thing is being in the desert here, it's flat. Sometimes, and you would think, well, that should make it pretty easy. Yeah, but some of the flatness, it rolls a little bit. And like heading into turn one, Sunset Bend, at the end of a 3,500-foot front straight, it falls to the apex. You turn to the apex before you actually spot it. So there's some commitment to be done here. Running the outer loop today, 15 turns, just a tick over 3 miles in length. And this 3,500-foot front straight, turns 1, 2, 3 is a sequence of corners, very quick and really carry a lot of speed. And then you get into the tight Black Rock hairpin. Then you have to come around turn 6. Then where the east course and west course connected is a very fast turn called Witchcraft, that then climbs to the one bit of elevation here, and it isn't so much the climb to the top of the attitudes, as they call it, first, second, and bad. I love that sequence, which is a very, very quick left, right, left complex. But as you come out of the second attitude, it falls down the hill. You lose a quick 75 feet of elevation, and then left at what they call bad attitude. And if you get it wrong, that's how you're going to be thinking about it. To have a pretty bad attitude, because it's easy to just run wide there, lose a lot of time. This track has a lot of runoff, so that's never a huge issue. And then you head into the Tuella turn, which is a deceptively fast left-hander that leads down and comes right along the freeway side of the track. By the clubhouse and into what's called Clubhouse Corner. There's a look, Tuella turn up at the top center of the screen there, and then Clubhouse, which is the corner we're looking at here. And from Clubhouse, again, it is a quick entry, but then you need to get it wound down for the second to the last corner called Wind Up. And then you enter what's called Release, which is slightly banked. And there you see the banking there on Release, and you've got to get that one right, because that propels you out onto this 3,500-foot long front straight. 4,500 feet of elevation, so the car's a little bit hungry for air. Drivers probably too, but again, that takes its toll. Horsepower drops, so does cooling efficiency for brakes and for engines. So this is a track where, one, managing all of the components of your car is huge, and two, if somebody drops a wheel, as you can see, you run off wide here, it's desert. That little bit of sand and dust gets up on the track, and next time you come through a turn, it can be a lot slicker than you thought. It is a track that keeps your attention, and it always produces great racing. And in the touring cars, which is what's coming up here, the first of our double headers here this weekend, rounds 9 and 10, it is a track where the draft, especially for the touring car B machines, is absolutely essential, and it really has produced some fabulous racing over the years here, and you're not going to find a better day than this. So let's take a look real quick, give you some idea of who did what in qualifying. Patrick Gallagher, and if you followed the Mazda MX-5 series, or if you followed the Formula Enterprises Open Wheel series, Patrick Gallagher, very talented driver in the Atlanta Motorsports Group entry. His first pole, it's a new track record, and he got it by almost a second. In touring car, that's unheard of. It's just remarkable what he was able to do here, and just a great job. And it was the 8th pole here at UMC for Mazda, which extends their record. Nobody close in terms of poles here at this track. Adam Poland, who has 3 poles this season, although he missed the last round of the championship, and he had 2 wins here in 2014, qualifies second in his Doghouse Performance machine. In third, Vesko Kozarov, who swept all 3 touring car races here last year and got fast laps in every one of the races, qualifies third in his CA Sports Skullcandy Nissan. In the 4th qualifying spot, the driver who won the 2 most recent races at Road America, Tony Rivera, in his Brass Monkey Racing Nissan. And then points leader Toby Grahovic here in the BMW 235 IR from Classic BMW, qualified in the 5th spot. Let's get down to Jeff Lepper in pit lane.
How serious it is with the support. Absolutely. I mean, this is it. You've stepped up. We'll be here. I'm just picking a day. We'll be here tomorrow to have a look at your car. Absolutely. And that's the part that...
I think Jeff Lepper's down on the front of the grid. See if we can get to him.
Well, to give our most famous command of all motorsports, Horacio Mastraccio, North American Motorsports Manager of Pirelli Tires.
From our partners, EnergySolutions, Optimal Batteries, and Pirelli, Drivers, start your engines.
So you probably.
Oh, and this is going to be a good one. Some 40 cars here across the three classes are coming to life. And this one should be fun. They always are here, these touring cars. I was out, actually had an opportunity on Thursday when they were testing to be able to get out, sit in a couple of grandstands, and just watch. This one should be superb. Sixth in the qualifying order overall in a touring car, the number 5 at John Weisberg, who had a pole here last year. And in the qualifying session, sat at the top of it for a while, but then ended up slipping down when some of the other guys started to come through in his Berg Racing Redcom Labs machine. Nick Whitmer, who is one of the serious points players here, sits second in the points right now, struggling a little bit, back in the 8th position here in his Honda Senrose Racing Accord V6 Coupe. The car just looks a little bit unsettled here. It's quick, but not quick enough, obviously. And the back end of the car just seems to be struggling a little bit here. So we'll keep an eye out for that as the cars roll off on the pace lap. And again, first of the doubleheaders, always a rolling start. In Touring Car 8, Joey Vickers, who was unstoppable at Road America, keeps that streak alive, puts it on the pole here. And gets his 3rd consecutive pole here for Atlanta Motorsports Group. Second in the Touring Car A category, Dan Williams in his SAC Racing Mazda MX-5 Cup car number 36. Third, the number 70 of Elevan Goulart, and he is your points leader on board here. And he's got a nice points margin, but his wins it's just certainly not been a dominant run, although he's put together 5 wins. But he's just found a way to do it late in the races. That's kind of been a neat story. Jason Wolf qualified 4th. He is the all-time wins leader here in Pirelli World Challenge competition at Utah Motorsports Park with 4. Next closest up in this race would be Johan Swartz with 2 wins, and he qualified a couple of spots behind Jason, or Elevan, or behind Jason, who was 4th. Forrest Landy splitting those two. Great to see Forrest, who's a gun in the Mazda MX-5 Cup Series with Atlanta Motorsports Group coming over, qualified 5th. Then Johan Swartz in his heel and toe and Kaz Sport Shea Racing entry, and that is the Kaz Group supporting him in that one. And Eric Powell in the 23 in 7th and 8th. Mason Filippi, a couple more Mazdas here, so a great run there. And in Touring Car B, 15-year-old Henry Morris puts it on pole. I believe that's his first ever Pirelli World Challenge pole, and did an absolutely great job, the 15-year-old did. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned Gallagher, that was a new track record for him overall here. Then it's the O's, Tom O'Gorman in the number 94, and that is the Track Night in America Black Armor Helmets Honda Fit. And the number 24, his first ever pro race, his debut in Pirelli World Challenge, Kanan O'Connell. And if you wonder about the name, don't wonder anymore. Yes, that's Johnny O'Connell's son in the TechSport Chevy Sonic, making his pro debut and out-qualifying his teammate and points leader, P.J. Gronke. I think Kanan's got Dad's gift maybe here. And Jeff, next up, Ted Ho in the number 68, always strong in that breathless racing Mazda. And then completing the top 5 in qualifying, James Wilson. And interesting story about what happened to James on his way here. We'll talk about that in a minute for Black Armor Helmets. Then P.J. Gronke, who is your points leader in the 6th spot. And the last note, one of our more experienced drivers in the field is Shea Holbrook in her Bubba Burger Lucas Oil Shea Racing Honda Accord V6 Coupe. Had a transmission problem earlier, and there was a report they weren't sure if they'd make the race. If they did, they'd be late to the grid, which means they start from pit lane. We'll have to see if she made it.
Yeah, they were putting coolant in the car as we were getting ready to roll off a pre-grid down there on the pre-race festivities. Henry Morris, unfortunately, his Morris GPS car was 8 pounds underweight after qualifying. He moves to the back of the grid, so that's going to put Tom O'Gorman on pole. As you see our TC leaders coming out of the Tuella turn down here, getting the final grunt really around this racetrack off those Pirelli P0 tires. Just got word from Ernie Francis Jr., who's competing at the Trans Am race out at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. For missing you here, buddy, they're watching the live stream here worldwide, so make sure you always tune into MotorTrendOnDemand.com or World-Challenge.com to watch that race live as the leaders are coming out of windup onto release, onto the front stretch here, and it is a green flag.
Nice early green, just letting them go race here, and it looks like Adam Powell got a great launch from the outside, and it's even possible that Vesko Kozarov might get around Gallagher by the time they get halfway down this long straight, and I do mean long.
It's a very long 3,300 feet over a half a mile long is Jasper Drangler on his lid upside down. I'm not sure where that is because they have not quite got down to the first corner yet, especially for the TCB class. If that was if that was under warming his tires up, and there might have been something there, but upside down for Jasper Drangler. This has got to bring out a full course yellow, Greg.
That almost looks like it is that corner windup, the 14th turn here, which means they had that early green. So everybody, when it goes green, the field can race. And obviously maybe somebody tried to get underneath him, something like that. But yeah, we're going to definitely be full course caution right off the bat here. I'm not sure I've ever seen that, a car on its roof before it even gets to the start-finish line in the green flag.
Well, Pirelli World Challenge, making history every day, one race at a time. Jasper Drangler, see if we get a replay there. Nope.
Just the end of it after it had settled. And I'm looking at the four corners on that car now, very easy to see. And, he's got a little damage there in what would be the left rear. I was looking first at the wheels, and they didn't look particularly askew, like something may have broken and pitched him into that. But there you can see what looked like a wrinkle there. So early caution, Jeff.
And it was a really, really early green flag. Mm-hmm. They were still really, the leaders were coming out. I think that sort of caught out Patrick Gallagher, not waiting for that green flag as you're coming down. You get on the straightaway, you check everything, make sure you're all good, maybe tighten those belts one last time. As he looks up, everybody's going, and there's a green flag. So really early green here. And like you said, Greg, once they go green, it's green the entire track. So that those TCA cars and those TCB cars, they go green. Had some contact there even before they crossed the start-finish line and resulted in Jasper Drangler up on his lid.
Well, it's interesting. Gallagher on pole by almost, actually over 1 second plus on pole, which is unheard of in this category. So that little moment with Poland and Kozarov able to get around him may have preserved and made this a really good race, because Gallagher may have just gapped and gone. When I was out watching and testing, he just looked through the attitudes and in and through Tuella turn. He just looked so quick. That car really, really working here, and of course those Mazdas handled so well. We took over a second between first and second in touring car. How about the top six covered by only 0.7 of a second in touring car A? That close. And just got look there. Shea Holbrook looks like she is out. And this yellow here may have really been helpful to her, because she had to start from pit lane. At least she can get right to the back of the queue.
And she's able to get to the back of the TCB cars, because you don't start from the back. There's no way to really slot her in between the classes there. So that's why she's at the back of the TCB field.
There you have a look at our Cadillac Escalade, the official safety vehicle of the Pirelli World Challenge. Big thanks to Cadillac, a great partner. And we also are in the midst. See, it looks like Jasper is out. And anytime you get upside down, mandatory that you get a nice chaperoned ride over to the medical center for a quick look-see here. But looks like he is fine, and they are putting the car on the hook and getting us going. So we've got ourselves a little Muck Daddy cleanup moment here unfolding at the Utah Motorsports Campus Grand Prix.
Not sure what the damage was to that car. Obviously, he's on the roof. Doesn't look like too many of the wheels are askew there, and they're actually going to pick him up and tow him away. I would got to think that maybe he might have just tried to start that car up and drive it away, but the safety crews there hooking it up, so probably the damage is a little bit more extensive than what we can see on the monitor.
I was kind of hoping we might get that great call you don't hear very often, rolled and continued.
It's a very rarity, but
it's
like a little, and that was possibly what happened usually here. Is this is an FIA rated facility, and you get into the sand traps with a sedan car. Once you hit those sand traps, they really tip those cars right over. So it could have been a small contact. Maybe he spun off right on the side of the road, just barely hit that sand, and just tips the car right over. Didn't look like there was a lot of damage.
No.
He should be able to get back, if not in this race today, definitely get it fixed for the race tomorrow.
Absolutely. That's one of the nice things, is the opportunity here to do this twice on a weekend with the double header format. And interesting here, Henry Morris, you talked about it, starting at the back of the field. So a front row of O'Gorman and O'Connell and Ho and Wilson, then Gronke and Drangler, obviously with his issues here. So it's going to be interesting to see here what PJ Gronke is going to be able to do here. As I said, he comes in as the points leader, but now starting where he is at this stage of the race, and you take a look at where PJ sits, a 36-point margin. And Jeff, there is a 12-point swing first to second, and the guy that really is the one that he's going to be paying very, very close attention to in this championship. I think he's got an opportunity here.
He really does, but unfortunately, that Chevy Sonic of Tech Sport Racing with PJ Grunke. The motor is giving away in that car. It's about 15 psi down on compression from Kanan O'Connell's car, which equates to about 3 miles an hour down the straightaway difference in speed. He's doing this race right now just to salvage as many points as he can. The team there, Kevin Anderson, his wife Debbie, they went and got a spare motor at a junkyard nearby, a 1.8 liter, and the team's going to work overnight to get that engine into that car for him. Oh, and there is a pretty extensive damage there. The windshield's popped out of the car, so that's not able to continue in him and Jasper Dringler's car. But that Tech Sport Racing team getting PJ Grunke's car tomorrow, get a brand new engine in that and get him going.
Well, then PJ getting a little bit of a gift is that the guy who's only 36 points behind him, Henry Morris, had to start at the back of the field, and that might be the one little bit of help he can get as we continue under this caution. But I'm thinking here, Jeff, we ought to be going back to green here, pretty quick order here.
Yeah, we'll see.
Lights out.
There it goes. Lights out on the pace car, just coming down through the attitudes in that Cadillac ATS-V. Don Harple driving our Cadillac pace car. God, that's a beautiful car, too.
It really is, isn't it?
But some great touring cars right behind that Cadillac as well, ready to go back to green here. And Adam Poland will lead them. He led the first practice session. The second practice session, they changed the intake on the car, and it caused really a miss in the car, so they had to do the remap. By the time he got that done, the practice session was over. So he's only had one practice session here, and then that limited 15-minute qualifying session. And to be on the top of the time charts, qualify second, and now leading the race here.
Yeah, not too bad. We'll see how this plays out. Now, he does have an always racy local boy in Vesko Kozarov out of Salt Lake City right behind him. And that Nissan 370Z, we know, makes a pretty good straight line here. So we'll see how this plays out. And then you see Tony Rivera, and he has Nick Whitmer right behind him. But here we go. Out of release, onto the front straight. There's the green. So they hit that VP Racing Fuels acceleration zone. And this time, it looked like, did Gallagher, he got a little slow off the release again. And, boy, what a start by Grahovic.
Yeah, Grahovic got a great start, and look at Vesko Kozarov and Nick Whitmer just accelerating around that group there. It's going to go 3 wide down into turn number 1.
Kozarov, Whitmer, Poland trapped on the outside of Grahovic. And see what happens here. That'll give him the inside line here for turn 2. Is Grahovic going to give way? He has to, because that little Mazda, doesn't, as you can see, have quite the straight line speed of these other cars. But once it gets into the twisty stuff, the balance, the agility of that car really comes to the fore. Now, first time at speed into Blackrock hairpin.
Vesko Kozarov, that Nissan 370Z CA Sport, the local team based right here, has got a lot of knowledge. You see Grahovic going down to the inside of Poland, trying to make that pass for third place.
Poland just stays put right to the edge. Yeah, absolutely. And now that'll give him the inside again into 6th. But Grahovic a little bit more speed. But then you have to slow down that slightly heavier BMW. Well, not slightly heavier BMW. And Poland able to slot through. And now Kozarov, big defensive on Whitmer as they head into Witchcraft.
Going down to the entrance there called Knockout, and that's really nice. That's really that left-hander when you turn back on there. Side by side, but the attitudes. You saw Kozarov there get a little bit loose and right into the side of Whitmer. Whitmer way sideways. Wow, exciting stuff here in touring car.
That's what I've been seeing him doing. What back into that car is just all over the place. They can't get it settled, but it's quick. An outside pass into the attitudes on a guy that swept this 3 races in touring car here last year, and look at him have to go defensive now on Poland as they head now into Clubhouse. Wow, this is Pirelli World Challenge racing at its best. It's the way racing should be. And now Poland going to try and stuff it down the inside of Grahovic, way up on the curb into windup, but he got through. Or did he?
Yeah, that was Gallagher that got down to the inside there, and what a good run he got. Not sure if he's going to make that pass. Wow. As you see Poland going way to the outside and release, that's going to hold him up a little bit, and Gallagher to the inside, the 2 MX-5s running for 3rd.
You can see Gallagher, obviously, I'm sure, a bit frustrated with the way he started. Now, here comes Grahovic, and again, it's power and weight. You got a heavier car, you can run with more power. That's going to help you on this straight. And that's where Whitmer and Kozarov able to draw away just a little bit. But then Grahovic able to hang on to it. And Tony Rivera got a great run down the straight. It was down to the inside, and he's in a Mazda sandwich there for a moment. Gallagher to the inside, Poland to the outside. And he's still, Tony able to sneak through. Look at Poland following him through on Gallagher, just saying, well, might as well use him as a pick if I can here. Now, this is a little bit more of a horsepower run, Jeff, than hard under the brakes into Blackrock.
And Adam Poland dropping back. Not sure this. Weisberg trying to look at the inside of Gallagher. They've been having some overheating problems with that Mazda MX-5. I want to give a huge thank you to CNR Radiator. They put a new radiator system in this car. There's some new duct work and got the temperatures down 30 degrees in that Mazda MX-5.
That's significant. Meanwhile, back in Touring Car B, O'Gorman hanging on to the lead here. And Kanan O'Connell slots into second. Ted Ho right behind him at this stage. And PJ Gronke now up into fourth. Good news for him.
Yeah, PJ was hoping that he said if he can just keep the lead group, let them start racing, he might be able to close the gap a little bit, start to get racy here at the end, but you do see that little gap, this top three starting to pull away in TCB, but we've seen it once lap traffic comes around or these guys get side by side, those cars close right up and make it a 5, 6, 7 car battle for the lead.
Absolutely, and for PJ, the draft is never going to be more important than it is now to just stay in touch. Looking at Touring Car A right now, and Wolf doing a nice job. All-time wins leader here, as I said, at the top of the show.
That's
at Utah Motorsports Campus. Huh?
In
any category, yeah. I mean, he is the man here, no question. And got around pole sitter Bickers. The last few races, Jeff, nobody else has been able to do that.
Yeah, Levon Goulart back there in fourth, and you see Johan Swartz coming back into Pirelli World Challenge with that Honda Civic, and it's like Shea Holbrook's car down on pit lane. They got the transmission replaced. They literally had almost 2 hours to pull the entire engine, put a new transmission on it, got the water in it, probably overheating, got an air bubble, and they're trying to hurry up, make them feel, just try to get at least half the laps to get some sort of points.
It's a big ask, isn't it, to turn that around that quickly here. Wolf now, and this is where that Kia has, it's got some legs here. It's very strong down the straights, and you can see able to gap Vickers just a little bit. That third car in the queue, I believe, is Dina Weisberg, and she's a touring car category, so she's actually in between second and third in Touring Car A right now, and that is currently held, as you said, by Goulart and Johan Swartz. How nice is it to have our reigning 2015 Touring Car B champion back in the field? Had a pole the opening weekend at Circuit of the Americas, but then had that hub failure and wasn't able to put together anything to come back until now. Good to see him back and competitive as always.
Yeah, ready to do that. And looking at some of our special awards, of course, our Best Start Award, that goes to the driver of the number 91, Nick Whitmer, picking up 7 positions overall in the start. So good run for him as he went from 8th up to 1st, and it was the first full lap under green, so that first lap did not quite count when Chris Wright picked up 5 positions, but it is Nick Whitmer, your leader in touring car right now, your Optima Battery Best Start Award.
Yeah, this is impressive here. I mean, consider where Nick started. 8th is where he qualified, and that was where I was watching him, and he'd turn into Tuella turn, catch the curve with that inside or left side right rear tire, left side right rear, left side rear tire, and the car would just start bouncing like mad. And, he just, all he could do at that point was give it throttle and pull it around. And my thought was, well, it might be kind of quick, but I don't know how long it's going to last. Well, qualifying, as I said, he can only muster an 8th fastest lap. But one thing this guy knows how to do is lead.
And Tony Rivera sort of dropped out of this lead group. I don't know if we have a pickup on where he might be, but Tony Rivera out of this lead pack of 6 cars, led by Nick Whitmer, as Toby Grahovic looking deep to the inside of Vesko Kozarov, trying to make a pass down there to turn number 1. Has got a battle for the lead here in our TCB classes. Ted Ho in that breathless performance Mazda 2 down to the inside. Tom O'Gorman trying to go back on the inside of Kanan O'Connell, looking here into the attitudes.
Yeah, seconds ago, wasn't he third? Oh, that's how quick things change. Touring Car B, second attitude, bad attitude. Love the name here as it falls down that hill. And what a lap by Ted Ho in that breathless racing entry with Kanan O'Connell. He's really proving to be a very quick study. I guess he's got a decent coach.
Yeah, all those fans that are been a fan of his father, Johnny O'Connell, for so long, it's a different role for Johnny O'Connell now. He's sitting at the fence here up in the stands watching his son. They got out here race, running second right now in that Tech Sport Racing Bondurant Chevy Sonic.
He's probably more nervous now than he was at any moment sideways through the Porsche curves at Le Mans, would be my guess.
It's nerve-wracking. I remember the first time my son got in a go-kart, I never felt more tighter as a dad when you're holding on to that fence post and there's nothing you can do. And I got to think that Ben Morse is feeling the same way about his son, 15-year-old pole sitter here. Unfortunately, with the underweight, got moved back, but is the youngest race winner in PWC at 15, winning the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park Round in that Morse GPS. And that's actually Derek Ambrose's car, part of the Hale Motorsports team. And unfortunately, a couple weeks ago, Randy Hale, his father, did pass, and was a big, huge ham operator. And they have a nice sticker on the back of Henry Morse's car there. It says his initials was 73. And if anybody that does ham radio, that's how you call off, is the 73 as your call off for ham radio. So I want to give our condolences to the Hale family and know that we're all thinking about you, Randy. Can't wait till you come back out.
Absolutely. Hang in there, brother. By the way, just saw a shot, the 21 of Steven Strymer down in the pits, one of the Tech Sport Racing Mazda MX-5 Cup entries. A little bit of an issue, and they're dealing with it down in pit lane. Oh boy, Kanan got a tremendous run here. And look at Ted O going way to the inside, understanding the rule that you can't go and make a move in reaction. He wanted to get it done early, but look at O'Connell and just said, all right, well, then I'll try you around the outside here. It looks like he might be able to make that work. O'Gorman willing to maybe come up, Jeff, and give him a little arrow push. And oh, look at this. Ted wanted to turn in, and O'Connell said, sorry, dude, I'm here.
Yeah, that's the advantage. You do get that inside line here coming out of knockout, so you're able to try to stay there. And then, now can you do it through witchcraft or not? Is Ted Ho looking back to the inside of that Chevy Sonic? They'll try to go side by side through witchcraft. Not recommended here at the Utah Motorsports Campus.
Well, yeah, tell that to Nick Whitmer. Remember, that's how he got to the lead. So I guess it may not be recommended, but sometimes it's effective, if you will. And up on those curbs just a little bit, working their way through the attitudes. Meanwhile, we go back now to Touring Car A, still led by Wolf, but Joey Bickers has reeled him in. And Elevin Goulart, let's see, have they been able to clear? They did. Elevin was able to get around Dino Weisberg, so now we'll see whether he's able to draw in at all on the back of these two, but that's a pretty good margin at this stage.
Sure is. We saw pit lane there with the Steven Strimmer, Trans Am racer, coming over here to do Pirelli World Challenge with Tech Sport Racing, was on pit lane. They were checking something out in that right front, so hopefully he can get back underway. A little bit different from the Viper that he normally races into that Mazda MX-5.
Yeah, pretty serious difference there, no question. Into now. That's a great sequence. Oh, and a problem. Kozarov, and back on it here. You wonder if he maybe just had to get away from him in a quick spin because he's back on the throttle, Jeff.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. I don't know if that's a tire donut there. I was trying to look at that right rear, right where that red vinyl goes up, or the silver there. Is there a tire mark right there? Looks like it. There might have been some damage there on that right rear of the Vesco Kozarov Nissan 370Z from CS Sport. Not sure if we have a problem there, but yeah, that definitely dropped him back. It's going to put him right ahead of Jason Fichter, who I believe was running in the 13th position.
Well, he was in a pretty heated battle with Whitmer and Grahovic. They weren't separated by much, so it's entirely possible that it got to be pretty close quarters racing here. Looking at that again, there's definitely a mark there. Here's Whitmer now. As he leads, you can see Grahovic just got passed by Poland. Whoop, and the number 35, Chris Wright, is off.
Kinetic Motorsports. Right Transportation, Kia Forte Coupe off into the dirt. He'll get back underway. Just a little dirty. Let's see what happened. Oh, got it way crossed up there in the attitudes. Almost took out Daniel Williams there in that new entry for SAC Motorsports. Goes to 5 cars strong for that team now.
Yeah, it's a pretty remarkable program what Elevin and his dad have put together here as we go back to this battle. Look at Bickers trying to get down the inside into Blackrock on Grahovic. Grahovic saw him coming. Really, that was a smart thing. Toby's a savvy racer. Others may have just said, well, I'm going to shut the door here. He came from too far back. And that's one of those, well, I may have been right, but I'd be wrecked right.
But so I do think he gave him just a little too much room.
Yeah.
And they got out in that rally, so we saw him go over onto the curbing there on the exit. But yeah, like you said, and he's that type of driver that he'll give you all the room in the world, but he'll close the door on you as quick as he can open it.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't earned your right to be alongside, he's a hard-nosed racer. But he also understands if I turned in, that could have just been a wreck. And I'm leading in the points. I got to be smart here. And look at this. Poland now on the back of Nick Whitmer. And believe me, Jeff, he's there. Watch that thing bounce, that Honda bounce a little bit. Adam is watching that, and he knows I've got a lighter, more agile car, and that big, quick, make no mistake about it, Honda V6 powered car. Very quick, but heavier. And you can see it moving around. Plus, he's got Patrick Gallagher coming up behind him. And Poland, look at that move. He's going to be on the outside. That was a great, I mean, he's letting him know he's there trying to rattle him.
Oh, right there, and he stuck it on the outside. I thought he was going to try to do the old over-under on the release and go right to the outside. And he has to do what he can to try to get alongside, to do whatever he can do to keep Whitmer behind him. You see that V6 that Accord just pulls back away right in front of Anna Poland.
Meanwhile, here we go. Look at this. O'Gorman in that. I love the livery on that. That's the Track 9 America car we talked about. Those graphics, those lines in that car represent all 23 tracks in the Track 9 America program. And Ted Ho, that Liquid Performance Beta breathless car, off track, Jeff.
Yeah, your early leader and led the points at the beginning of the season. Was really looking forward here to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca for the double points from him missing the Lime Rock race. And heartbreaking for that team, and his car perked off onto that safety car.
The Team O, as I'm calling them, O'Gorman and O'Connell, making a little bit of an escape here. Look at what's unfolding here.
Yeah, Poland able to get ahead of Nick Whitmer now. So it'd be Grahovic into third. And you see right behind them still John Weisberg battling there with traffic. I'm not sure where there is. Nick Whitmer way to the outside into the gravel.
That's where you're happy you got front drive.
Put your foot in it, and it pulls the car straight again and pulls you right back onto the track.
Aim it where you want it to go and pin her. Yep, and he did it, but that's going to cost him. It's going to dirty his tires up. That's the other issue. You can see Weisberg looking to maybe try and take advantage. But boy, Poland needed this. He needed to build a gap up so that by the time they get to the long straight here, he's got enough in hand, and he may have just done it here, as Whitmer, again, as I said, he's going to have those tires kind of dirtied up and not be as quick for a couple of corner sequences. Then Grahovic in third, then Weisberg. Boy, this is playing right into Adam Poland's hands here.
Oh, and John Weisberg, a little wide there as Gallagher was looking to the inside. I was talking with Jason Hoover last night. They were all getting ready to go to dinner, putting Patrick Gallagher's car away. Starts it up. I go, that doesn't sound right. Sure enough, they pull the car back over, only running on 3 cylinders. Had a wiring harness problem. Jason worked on it for about 3.5 hours trying to find out where it was, those little wire gremlins. And they finally got it fixed and showing that he's back up to 4th place and got the pole. So we wanted to make sure he maintained that position.
Yeah, boy, Gallagher and Weisberg get such great runs out of that last turn, turn 15. But then the power of the Honda and the BMW, and Toby getting a decent run here. See if he's going to be able to get down to the inside of Whitmer. And Whitmer, that car after that off, Jeff, has been real pushy in some of the corners. It's just not turning very well. There's Poland. Now what happens in second here? And Grahovic got him. Grahovic got through. He didn't see the pass complete, but he was able to get it done. Then it's Gallagher in third, or excuse me, fourth, and Weisberg in fifth. And Whitmer's starting to struggle just a little bit.
Yeah, they used to talk about how loose that car is with that Pirelli P0. You know, he pushes these tires, he's loose all over the place. And we've said it before that it's amazing he makes it last, but I really think here, with the extra weight of that Honda Accord now, he's going to really start struggling, as you see later on. Driving that car with that type of setup just does not work.
Nope, Gallagher able to get him now, though. Whitmer able to use the power, but he's going to get trapped on the outside. And Gallagher just going to be able to go a bit deeper into that corner. Whitmer's off again. Yeah, it's just already stressed these Pirelli P0s. They are great tires, Jeff. There's no doubt about it. But when you push them that hard, no tire is going to be able to stand up to it for long.
Yeah, no, and you see John Weisberg just sticks that Mazda MX-5 right to the inside, pulls right through him on Witchcraft, and to see these touring cars going side by side through Witchcraft and then into the Attitude. So you see that, that car is just all over the place. That Honda St. Rose Accord there of Nick Whitmer. And that's how he likes to drive it. You see it right there. He just throws it sideways into the corner. Just not going to last.
I think he just dials up an ice racing setup on the car and says, I don't care where I finish, I'm just having fun driving it. Because he's sure, and we have fun watching it, but the problem is it's not always the quickest way to get around a racetrack. As you can see here, now Gallagher mounting his attack on point leader, Toby Grahovic. Ooh, Gallagher really opening it up here, trying to get this more straight line run and have something for Grahovic here. Stay close enough that maybe he can do something down into Black Rock. Meanwhile, oh boy, here we go. Wolf and Bickers, they've been swapping position here. Bickers has again now been able to run right up on the back. You see Wolf tapping those brakes a couple of times. I think that's more to get that back end to settle down, isn't it?
Yeah, front wheel drive car, turbocharged. You just got to get that rear plate and just do some weight transfer there. Get some more weight on that nose as you turn in there to the Attitudes. Joey Bickers in it for the season championship. Jason Wolf able to miss a little bit of the season here, so he's not really a factor in this championship. So far sitting great right now is Bickers ahead of your points leader, Elevon Goulart, back there in third.
Yeah, and Elevon, once again, Dino Weisberg able to get back around Elevon. And And that's got him parked. Boy, look at how much deeper into this turn Bickers can go than Wolf can. But unless Bickers can get him and park Wolf somehow, this is where Wolf, as our colleague Dorsey Schrader and our now race director for the series likes to say, yeah, that Kia handles good on the straights.
Dorsey Schrader, that's right. The race director, for those of you that did not catch that, really brought a level of respect amongst these drivers to these drivers' meeting rooms with Brian Till as the chief driving steward, Dorsey Schrader. We have Peter Roberts comes over from FIA and Porsche Super Cup competition as the chief, steward. So really, the drivers' meeting room, it's kind of one of those no excuses anymore with these drivers. And to see when Dorsey first came over a year ago at our last round at Road America, to see the level of professionalism amongst our drivers improve and the respect of each other and the officials improve just from having Dorsey there.
Yeah, and Dorsey and Brian, that's the caliber of guy that when somebody comes into that steward center with some excuse, either they can go, well, that's a new one, never heard that, or yeah, heard it before, not buying into it at this stage.
Or did it before.
Yeah.
Knowing Dorsey and Brian.
Well, that's a good point. But look at what Henry Morse has been able to do here in the last couple of laps after getting that pole, but then getting bounced to the back. He has come right up and sits now in third, and that's bad news for PJ Gronke, as we talked about, who comes in here with a rather slim point lead. And Morse, obviously, young Henry and that Hale Motorsports team understood what has to happen here. He's got to make up some ground at Gronke, especially knowing that Gronke's car is a little wounded.
Well, Caden O'Connell there in that Bondurant Chevy Sonic, those cars were so close that when you saw Henry Morse duck out there going into Black Rock Hairpin, you couldn't even see the Sonic. I thought something might have happened with O'Gorman up in the lead. John Weisberg, I thought I heard a car spin there on the monitor there, and he is back in that Redcom SLS Mazda MX-5, looped it there into turn number one. Let's see if we can see what happened here as he gets just a little too deep there behind Toby Grahovic. Tried to save it, and snapped it right back and lost it as he hit the gravel.
If that were a motorcycle, that's a tank slapper.
Big time tank slapper for John Weisberg. And he had a good run, set at P1 in the first practice session. Qualified up in the top half of the field. Look at the lead that Adam Poland still has here over Patrick Gallagher in second now, and Toby Grahovic back there in third.
We are 27 and a half minutes into this 40-minute race. So it's getting to be go time here. You take a look at it. Adam Poland, Jeff, has opened the lead up to over 4.5 seconds. He is just dominating here. Gallagher second, then Weisberg, Grahovic, and Whitmer. And Gallagher does have fast lap of the race, but the problem is that he's got way too much ground to be able to make up on Poland. Just running a couple, 3-4 tenths quicker than Poland here. Weisberg is spun out of that third spot. Grahovic should have that. Wolf, Bickers, Goulart, your top three. Johan Schwartz having a nice run. Great to have him back in the championship, as we said, and now up into fourth in that Cavs group. Shea Racing, and I like it on the side of his car, heel and toe. Yep.
Lost art, really, when he comes from that. Especially when you talk about like that BMW, the Grover hacks with the paddle shifters, 8-speed transmission. These manual transmissions are going to start becoming a thing of the past. Coming up to touring cars, a good shot of the number 22.
I was going to just
TCA.
Yeah, I was going to jump in here. That's becoming an issue in vintage races and historic races because they're offering some of these young guns the opportunity to drive it, and they get in there and they go, "Oh, it's a stick shift. Yeah, I can't do that." It's like, so you're going to miss that opportunity to drive that Porsche 917 because you can't shift gears.
No, it should be mandatory. We should just, it says everybody vote. Just go to the Twitter handle. You go to my Twitter at Jeff Lepper, and let's do a vote now on if you need to get a pro race license, you must know how to drive a stick. That should be the rule. We're going to do that. I think I get Shea Holbrook on that. Yeah, Shea Holbrook will do that as well.
Yep, let's do it.
There goes your leader in TC around Kevin Anderson, the team leader there at Tech Sport Racing.
So that means that they have now come up and lap, we said it was a 40-car field, and they are almost halfway through this field as we go back and watch Tom O'Gorman as he leads this 3-car train covered by the blanket. I think that was the number, was that the number? number 40 of Steve Coley going into the pits.
Correct. Yeah, he's had some problems here this whole trip. He was in the garage area during the first practice session too, and they're having electrical problems in that car. Really just put the fuses in the car right before he goes out on the race, just to make sure that they don't have any other shorts there. But we say that Tom O'Gorman has, it is kind of a commanding lead. It's a half a car.
Yeah,
so
in
it
this
is
class.
commanding in TCB with Kanan O'Connell and Henry Morris starting to look a little racy there, back for third and the second.
Yeah, it looked like Kanan there just pushed a little bit, Jeff, and it cost him that. Now that lead is up to a whopping 2 car lengths, and it just that little bit of push. I notice Kanan now, he's turning in a little bit earlier into the corners than O'Gorman is. Sometimes that can be a sign that you picked up a push. You just can't get it to turn, so you need to shallow your entry into the corner just to get there, right?
Yeah, we'll see what the racecraft here that Henry has. You know, we talk about him being the K1 Speed Grand Champion in go-kart racing, their nationwide champion, and that's sort of the first kid now that's moved into full-size cars to get a pro career here. And you got to think as he goes to the inside of Kanan O'Connell down there, can he make a run? Is going to be Morris going to try to get not only second, but maybe first here as they battle 1, 2, and 3 in TCB.
Yeah, I'm not sure Kanan realized that Henry was making that move, and that was all started with Henry squaring up that corner, Blackrock a little bit more and getting a little bit better run out of it. Ooh, so close, but Kanan stays on the inside, almost a touch. They're into the attitudes, side by side through the attitudes. Who's going to give way? Finally, O'Connell realizes I'm going to end up trapped here if I don't. And meanwhile, your touring car A leaders come through. Wolf got balked a little bit. Bickers got a little bit of a run, Jeff, but there's no place for him to go since they had those touring car B cars right off to the side.
You see Kanan O'Connell trying to pull down there and catch any little bit of draft he can on the backside of Bickers to see if he can catch back up to Morse. And that quick, you saw the gap. A half a track before that, they were nose to tail a half a car length away, and now it's a solid about 5-6 car lengths back to second place.
Boy, and O'Gorman right here getting a huge gift, Jeff, as he had those 2 TCA cars between himself and Henry Morse here, and that gives him some breathing room, but not for long. Let's see what happens here. He's going to maintain that here.
He is. Elevon Goulart back there in third to close that gap to Bickers a little bit as well. And Dina Weisberg, you see her there. She's a touring car competitor, so not part of this lead TCA group as she's battling there in touring car in that second of the Redcom, the husband and wife team in their Mazda MX-5s.
Now we just saw one of those scenarios with traffic where we talk about it. You know, the faster class, sometimes that's what you think where traffic is going to play a key role, but it can also be the overtaken class as well. And remember, last lap, O'Gorman had a 0.1 second lead officially at the line over Kanan O'Connell. This time he has a 1 second lead over Henry Morris. That was all traffic induced by overtaking traffic.
Looking at our timing charts, I do see that Shea Holbrook has done 9 laps so far. 10 laps now. She continues just a lap around, trying to get some laps. There's a pass for the
that
lead.
Was something. Dina Weisberg came down trying to get down to the inside of Joey Bickers, and Joey decided, I'm going to make a move at the same time on Wolf, and got down to the inside, but he had shallowed his entry up so much. I think he was also looking at Dina, didn't want her to get through and gap him to Wolf, that he finally had to just get on the brakes too hard, and that allowed Wolf to hang on to it. But close call.
And it did hurt the momentum of Bickers a little bit. As you see, Wolf able to pull away a little bit. And this is where Bickers really needs to shine. Comes down to these attitudes, gets the handling of that Mazda MX-5 hooked up as they come out of the bad attitude down there at the end. It's first attitude, second attitude, then bad attitude into the Tuella turn as he closes the gap. Because once they hit that straightaway again, that Kia Forte Coupe going to pull right away.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of those scenarios now, Jeff. We're heading into the final few moments of this race. You've got a stellar battle for the lead going on, then a car in another class that is down the order a little bit. I don't think that car should be up there jumping in and affecting this battle. You should look at it and go, this is a battle for the lead in a different category. I need to just let them have their battle. And you see that happen all the time, and it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, the stewards are, I'm sure, on the radio with her, letting her know either pass them, get rid of them, or stay back and let them race, because this is a battle for the
look
lead.
at Joey. He is not pleased at that.
You see Elevon Goulart back there in third, about the same gap from Jason Wolf to Bickers to Goulart there. And it looks like Eric Powell, and I believe that's Forrest Landy, the number 48, having some problems there.
Mason Filippi is the 48.
Yeah, Mason Filippi and Eric Powell there getting in together. And not sure what that happened there, but it looks like Eric Powell got in the back of Mason Filippi. Down into the braking zone.
Yeah, it was a big moment, but they got away with it here. See, this is what's going to frustrate Vickers is now that car is a touring car in front of him. It's got better straight line speed, but it's not getting through the corners anywhere near as quick as these touring car A cars are, and he's losing touch with Wolf. That just shouldn't be happening.
You see him pinching the car down there to the inside, gets a little bit sideways. Wolf pulls away a little bit. Elevon Goulart back there in third closes the gap even more on Joey Vickers, your points leader in the touring car A category. As they come down through the hairpin here, and you see Goulart just peeking through in that Savings Auto Center Mazda MX-5.
Yeah, he comes in with a big point lead, but as you can see here, it hasn't been an easy one for him this season. But at the end of the races, Jeff, he always somehow finds a way to win, whether it's somebody having a stumble on fuel in front of him, Circuit of the Americas, whether it's two cars in front of him wrecking, Road America. He always at the end suddenly finds himself carrying a checkered flag. And, sometimes that's the kind of year you have. But look at this battle, Gorman and O'Connell. How impressive is Kane and O'Connell here?
He really is. Back in third in that Chevy. Sonic sort of lost the lead touch here with the group, but Tom O'Gorman continued to lead.
Yep.
Henry Morse started 7th up to 2nd place.
Yeah, I mean, this is
in that
a great
Morse
start.
GPS car. And you see that K-Tuner Trackline in America Black Armor helmet team there of Tom O'Gorman. Got 2 wins at Road America. Swept the weekend for his 2 first professional Pirelli World Challenge wins. Trying to see if he can get his 3rd win in Pirelli World Challenge competition here today. But Kane O'Connell, you saw how quick that was. Closes that gap back up.
Yep. Well, and for Morris right now, he runs 2nd. Gronke runs 4th. So that's, I'm trying to remember what that is, 110. So it's a 20-point swing. So that margin that Gronke has in terms of points now would go from 36 to 16. So Morris understands what's going on here. But one thing he doesn't want to do is let Kanan slide through. And of course, that's exactly what Gronke would like to. I'm sure he's on the radio saying, hey, tell my teammate, do it.
Oh, and there's Jay Solinsky spinning off the track as well in those fuse lenses. That's another car that's prepped there by Berg Racing, 3 cars strong, and Jay, Dr. Jay is what we call him, the orthopedic surgeon based in Tampa, Florida. And they got Regenics came in on the side of that car as well.
Absolutely, about 2.5 minutes left in this one. So it is serious right now. And O'Gorman, that right time, Morris got a little bit bottled up, and it allowed Gorman to get that bit of an advantage here. So in theory here, if he can hang on to it, Tom's going for his 3rd straight, well, not in theory, he's going for his 3rd straight win. Adam Poland, boy, he stretched that margin out now to 12 seconds.
Yeah, not sure what happened with Patrick Gallagher. His last lap time at 2:17.7, 10 seconds slower than Adam Poland. And Toby Grahovic at a 2:10. So you got to think maybe that was lap traffic. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with your 2nd place in TCB or TC right now.
It's going to be interesting. Keep an eye out, see if we can find where Gallagher is here. And if that next lap is another slow one, then we'll know that he's got some sort of an issue. But Poland, after an unlucky in ways year this year, he's always been fast. He's got poles this year, but something's happened. I think he was just saying, look, I'm going to a track I know I'm fast on. I'm going to put this one to bed. And he has been just superb here. And good work by the Shea Racing crew for that Bubba Burger Lucas Oil car. Problems, had to pit during the race after starting from pit lane and have her back out and running, and that's important. So it's great to see for Shea Holder.
Yeah, grilled up 100 Bubba Burgers in the pits here for lunch today. Andy Stinson from Bugger Burger is here. So
no wonder you went missing for a while.
Yeah, I was gone for a little while.
Got it. All right.
Yeah, they lost money on me this weekend. Those Bubba Burgers are pretty good. So really appreciate Shea Racing team and the crew and Andy Stinson for coming out here for Bubba Burger. And here it is, white flag for your race leader, Adam Poland.
1 to go here in our 9th round of the Pirelli World Challenge Touring Car Division Championship at the Pirelli World Challenge Grand Prix at Utah Motorsports Campus, presented by EnergySolutions. And there he is, Adam Poland, big lead in class. And that last lap by Gallagher, he's right back on pace again. So he must have just got caught out somewhere. Maybe lapping some traffic, got run out wide, whatever. But look at this now. Vickers has got back around Weisberg, and on the attack, he has quickly run down Jason Wolf. Here's Poland coming up on the back of Eleven Gular. Ooh, Poland trying to give Eleven lots of room. Caught the end of that exit curb and a big wiggle out of that car. Boy, that would be frustrating to have it go away at this. But look at this. Bickers all over the back of Jason Wolf right now. O'Gorman had lead up to over 2.5 seconds last time by a touring car. So now Bickers on the attack. And the problem for these guys is fourth car in your frame is the 33 of Poland coming up to put a lap on Dina, and then the two that are going for the battle here in touring car A. Looks like Poland's just going to stuff it down. The approach, yep, did it, got it through clean. Now let's hope that he understands what's happening here. And he does. Look at that. Nice job by Adam Poland. Said, you know, if I dive down, I'm going to ruin their race. There's no reason for me to do that. Bickers trying to keep him from sliding through here. What Adam wants to do now is clear them both. Oh, no, Adam. That just parked Bickers, and you're both in Mazdas. Sure you want to do that? Now, though, Poland going to try and sweep the outside. That's going to pinch Wolf on the exit here, down to the inside. This is an opportunity for Bickers. It's going to be a drag race out, and if it's a drag race, it'll go to Wolf. And Wolf is going to come through, earn his fifth win. What a story for Jason Wolf here at the Utah Motorsports Campus. That's 5 wins here. Poland gets the overall win and in touring car. Wolf hangs on over Bickers. And watching for touring car B, O'Gorman, Morse, Kanan O'Connell, their battle. See how that plays out here. Here they are. O'Gorman's got it. He's got it covered. And O'Connell has got back around Morse. But a little bobble there. Kanan caught a little bit too much curb. See if he's going to be able to hang on. Boy, PJ is delighted with what his teammate's doing here. Here comes O'Gorman onto the front straight. But keep your eyes peeled. Right there. Oh, and a nice job there as O'Connell gets a little bit of a gift as Brian Lift in a TC Porsche gets up and splits it. But O'Gorman, 3rd win in a row after sweeping Road America. And what a drive he put in here. Qualified 2nd, ended up starting on pole with Morse going to the back, slipped back a little bit, came right back through the field. Just a great run for Tom O'Gorman, who's sort of the spokesman and one of the chief instructors for Track Night in America. And I said it, the graphics on that car, all 23 tracks. He loves that Track Night in America concept. Tuesday nights at the 23 tracks around the country on various Tuesday nights through the year. Not very much. I think it's like $150 you can pay from 4 to 8. You go out to the track with coaching. You can drive your car around and just kind of get a feel for what it's like to maybe go racing here. And maybe someday you'll be able to do what Adam did here. What a run he put together here. Final margin of victory after he backed off a little bit working that traffic was 12 seconds. He had in hand over Patrick Gallagher. Toby Grahovic pads his point lead just a little bit with Nick Whitmer finishing behind him in the 4th spot. And Anthony Girazzi, boy, I'll tell you, he put on another very effective drive here. Got his first win a couple of events back in Pirelli World Challenge competition and has been a contender ever since and got himself a 5th. In touring car A, it's Wolf and Bickers. We watched that great battle. Elevan Gular comes home in 3rd. Useful points indeed. Johan Schwartz in his return to the series. His first event back since Circuit of the Americas. A very competitive 4th in a car that this track just isn't the best suited for, but doing a nice job. And Dan Williams completes the top 5. And in touring car B, there he is, your winner, Tom O'Gorman. What a debut, not just in Pirelli World Challenge, but in pro racing period for Kanan O'Connell. Right behind that yellow TC Porsche there on the cool-down lap. And then Henry Morse, who will take a few points away from PJ Gronke, who ended up getting passed late in the going by James Wilson. So while Morse lost a spot to O'Connell, Gronke lost a spot to Wilson. So That's a little bit of a good feeling there for Henry to know that James was able to steal some points from Gronke, so that is going to close up. And Ted Ho showed some great pace, but had that one issue, and he's back a little bit. Oh, love to hear that energy climbing out of that car. That is some great stuff. And Adam Poland, what a story he is. And to come back here, winning them both in 2014, being fast early this year, but not having the results to show for it other than some poles. And what happens? He comes to this track where he's awfully impressive. And Jeff Lepper, he's back in winner's circle at Utah Motorsports Campus.
Poland, what a drive for yourself. You returned back to World Challenge. You took a race off, and you get the win today.
Yeah, it feels absolutely amazing. We put so many hours into this car trying to get it to run cool, and it is just spot on. It didn't get above 190 degrees out there the entire time. It was absolutely fantastic. I can't thank the team enough for all the work they did. It was amazing.
Tell us about that pass. You dropped back a little bit, then worked your way back up through the front.
Yeah, that pass I made on Whitmer for first place, that just kind of came to me in the moment. I saw him get caught behind TCB traffic, and I was like, well, there's a lane to the outside, and just went for it and kept it on the curbing.
Well, that move earns Adam Poland, your race winner in TC, the move of the race.
Yeah, not a surprise there. It was pretty spectacular. Very impressive stuff. I think Jeff's going to go find our other class winners. But here's a look at the results here provisionally. There's Poland with the win. Gallagher and Grahovic, as I said, good points as he completes the podium with Whitmer and Girazzi completing the top five. Steve Burns, who had his best ever finish in World Challenge competition in the VP Fuels Mustang here last year with fourth. Another good run right up into sixth. And we'll see if Jeff's able to find the rest. Wanted to remind everybody, by the way, that the second race for the touring cars here, which we'll, of course, have for you live on our global webcast, is going to be coming up. Taking a look at it here tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 Mountain Time here. So, but let's get back down to Jeff, see who he's found. Looks like a very happy Jason Wolf.
Well, Jason Wolf, you took a little bit of a vacation, but welcome back.
Thank you, appreciate that. Glad to be back. That was a good one. Our cars are so much different in different areas that it made it an interesting race and really had to think a lot more than normal. So yeah, I'd like to thank the guys at Kinetic for letting me jump back in the car here and everyone that made it possible.
Well, Jason Wolf returns to the Pirelli World Challenge after a bit of a break. Not bad where he started where he ended, P1.
Absolutely. Great to have him back in this championship, doing a superb job. And we're going to take a look at the Touring Car A results here. As we talked about, Wolf, Bickers, Goulart, that is your points leader, and staying right in it, and that's what he wants to do. He's got a nice margin coming in, so he doesn't have to win everything at this stage, and he doesn't have to take risks to go for the championship. And Johan Schwartz doing a nice job with that fourth, and Dan Williams completing the top five. But let's get back down to Jeff with our Touring Car B winner. Third straight, Jeff, for Tom O'Gorman.
Well, Tom O'Gorman, you won 3 races, and those are in a row. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I was just playing the tire conservation and traffic game. It was going to be really hot, and the Pirellis held up. I got a couple touring cars to thank for this one a little bit. Got to thank everybody who made this happen for me, partners, friends, family. Of course, Black Armor helmets for the support and protection. I've got Carbotech brakes on the car. They were there the whole race. It's amazing. K-Tuner, of course, SCCA Track9 America, and of course, Honda. The fit is the best choice for B-Spec. And then, of course, I've got people here from Ohio, Kentucky, Colorado, Texas here making this happen out of the goodness of their hearts for me. So, and everybody else watching at home as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm ecstatic. Can't wait to do it again tomorrow.
Well, congratulations. Your 3-time race winner now, Tom O'Gorman.
Yeah, he got that first one, and now they just won't stop coming. Well, they pretty impressive stuff. We're going to take a look at the TCB results, Touring Car B, and there's O'Gorman. But what a day, what a debut for Kanan O'Connell. Great story there. Henry Morse, again, qualified on pole, got just a very minor infraction, but rules are rules. Had to start at the back, came right back up through the field to the lead even at one point, ends up third. James Wilson, a great last late race move, get around PJ Gronke. And Ted Ho, as I talked about, showed some great speed, had that moment, and it cost him. And then Jasper Drengler, of course, who ended up upside down before he even got to the green flag. in a somewhat bizarre incident, but hopefully they'll be able to get that machine repaired, and he'll be able to get out and run tomorrow as well. So that's going to wrap up our coverage here of this first day and this first race, if you will, from the Pirelli World Challenge Grand Prix at Utah Motorsports Campus, presented by EnergySolutions. Just want to let you know, as I said, second race for the touring cars will be tomorrow, Saturday, 1:30 Mountain Time. So wherever you are, do the math. We are going to be back on the web, however, at 11:30 Mountain Time for the first of the two Sprint X races. So you can tune us in a little bit sooner here and be able to watch that coverage. And the Touring Car Television Show on CBS Sports will air August 25th at 8 p.m. So mark that on your calendar, and we look forward to visiting with you tomorrow. Have a great night tonight, folks. Make sure you're back with us tomorrow. A busy day of racing.